the number of sub-Saharan Africans who willingly migrated to the United States in the decade between 1990 and 2000 was larger than the total number of Africans shipped directly to the United States over the course of the entire transatlantic slave trade.
They don't want you to remember this. You not no slave, you indigenous. Fuck how they painted them Indians. You went to war with the French and the British, man. Quite frankly, you was kings Merovingians. They took the women and men, made them prisoners, raised up the children to worship their images, set up a lab to the genes and they mixed them, and this shit get way deeper than your pigment.
I'm trying to figure out how Afro get in front of my mother race. I ain't never been to Afro color. I never been to Africa. Afro or Africa. Never been there. I'm not from Africa. I'm born and raised in Goose, Florida. I'm born in Goose, raised in Liberty City in the Poker Bean Project. Ain't never went to Africa. Ain't thinking about going there. And I heard it's a beautiful place. Yeah. And I know it's the motherland. Yes. But not my mother, not her mother, and not her mother's mother. That ain't their land. America, real true land is right here in the U.S. soils.
I'm not an African American. I'm an American. I was born on American soil.
Saying that we all come from Africa, that's the biggest damn lie. Indian, indigo, black, natives, we the real indigenous tribe. I'm the original man of America, due to the mitochondrial E. So that means every single last race in this world come from me. So if I created shoe, how the fuck you on my land first? Trying to claim my shit, man, I've been history. My people was done the worst. You not no native, please just be honest. You really a $5 Indian. Pay $5 to take my land. You know you a fraud. You not one of them. The government changed our names just so we don't get no reparations. Colored, black, Negro, African American is what they changed our name to. We is the Cherokee, we is the Iroquois, and the Apache. We is the Cheyenne, we the Calyphians, we the American Aboriginal Native man. Comment part 2. If y'all want me to go deeper, kind of people saying we African when we is the original people.
Today, as I have stated before, and I will continue to maintain, the secret that the global powers are working so hard to keep secret is the identity of black people. 2 major things have happened this week. The first is that rapper Diddy, Sean Combs, has been arrested. The second is far more important. The first is just the distraction. And that is that the 7 independent directors on the board of directors at 23andMe have resigned. Remember, they have to hide the truth in plain sight, but they hope that you never find it, which is why they distracted you with the arrest of Diddy the day before all 7 members of the board of directors at 23andMe resign. What I mean by that is they are playing a chess game. They have known that they were going to lose the match since the beginning, but they are elongating the loss. They know their time is up, but they are using all of their plays on the board. Is it your belief that they haven't known for decades what Diddy was doing behind closed doors? Or is it more likely to believe that they knew very well what he was doing because he was deeply embedded into their system of secrecy? What I mean by that is there is a deep system of blackmail going on here at a global level. And all of the global powers are involved. All of the 3-letter agencies are involved. They are all being judged for deceit. And this is why I say the entertainment industry, the sports industry, the church, businesses, corporations, and the government are all deeply intertwined because they are operating on the same chess game, playing as pawns in the game, ready to be used whenever they're needed. All for the sake of keeping this one thing secret. Which brings me to my main point. All 7 of the independent directors on the board of directors at 23andMe have resigned. And at face value, this may seem meaningless, but let me tell you, this is actually massive. If you've never heard of 23andMe, they are a personal genomics and biotechnology company that allows direct-to-consumer DNA testing. And you've probably seen a lot of their work on social media, their breakdown charts where you'll see someone say, oh, I'm 80% Nigerian and I'm 20% Norwegian. These breakdowns come from information provided from this company. By no surprise, 23andMe is the foremost leader in their field. They are the company that is often used to justify Black people being from Africa. Anytime that Black Americans begin to claim ownership of American land, the first thing that is used to rebut their ownership claim is, oh, but you're from Africa and your ancestry proves it. Make no mistake, they are named 23andMe. What is this telling you? We know from numerology that 23 is really just code for 7 sixes, 0.666666667. Mark of the beast. Let's make no mistake. There were 7 board of directors that resigned. Everything is spiritual, whether you want to believe it or not. And all you have to do is follow the money. Who owns the company that owns the company that owns the company? I'm not going to tell you here, but what I will say is all you have to think about is the sign and symbol that rapper Jay-Z holds up anytime he gets an opportunity to. Make no mistake, beginning of the year, we watched a movie called Leave the World Behind, produced by the Obamas. At the beginning of that film, we see a ship called the White Lion crashing on shore. It is my claim that that is a metaphor, warning all of the world's elite that the white lie is coming to a crash. And I'll end with this. Thy works, tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. The blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, but are not Jews, of the synagogue of Satan.
Of this land. We actually took it from Black people. We actually took it from Black people. Everything we've been taught in the American education system is all a lie.
Well, no goddamn Mexicans. The Mexicans were goddamn Spaniards. From Cortez when he come down here getting gold and shit from the goddamn Aztec Indians and the Mayans. Motherfuckers, I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm from fucking Spain. My grandpa's from Spain. We ain't from here. My great-grandpa's from Spain. We ain't Mexico. Mexicans come from Spain. So get your shit right. That's why you're speaking Spanish? Well, Latin is the biggest fucking language in the world. Panamania, Cuba, Spain, Honduras. What? So now a Honduran is a Mexican? Come on. Yeah, okay, got this Spain.
Mexican heritage, Mexican blood does not exist, okay? The Europeans from Spain went into the Americas. They had kids. The Mexicans were born. Bingo, boom, shut the fuck up and accept it already and stop believing in leftist, left-wing socialist politics that try to divide the people, saying that we are Native American and we're speaking fucking Spanish. The natives never spoke Spanish. We have Spanish names. The natives don't have Spanish names. We go to the Catholic Church. That did not come from the Native Americans. There's no such thing as Mexican blood. It's Spanish blood. It's traced back hundreds and thousands of years back from Spain. Okay? I'm going to accept it. If you're still going to be living with the victim mentality, that's on you.
A lot of blacks don't know that they are Indians. And
Why don't they know?
well, they've been told that they're African-American and that they came from Africa, but that they're really been here in the United States as Indians.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And they're really just giving false information from the historical point of view.
I want the people to know the truth about the Navajos and what they're trying to do to my people. Even back then, the Navajo nations are friends and allies with American government. And they're not the true Hopi people, native peoples on this continent. They're just a mixture of the Eskimos or they came down from the north, the Bering Strait. They came down from the north, the Bering Strait. They came down from the north, the Bering Strait.
They know. Why don't you?
Willa and Ellen. Now, tell me what you know about people my color, brown skinned, who were
indigenous people.
To where? To what land?
To America.
All right now. And you know that as a little girls, right?
Yes.
All right. I just want to thank you both. Where did you say the Indians were from? Where you
we
were?
have Abenaki up in Vermont.
Okay. And
we have the Penobscot in Maine and Mason took it.
Master took. Yeah. Okay. All right, ladies. Well, I want to thank you for that. You know, it's just good to know because I was born in the '60s. Yeah, they know. Yeah, we were taught that. You said everyone should know.
Yes.
All right, ladies.
Yes.
You girls, you're two good girls, and you got to stop bullying your little sister, your big sister. Oh, I've got to get this. And then you said you're a veteran.
Yes.
And what have you learned about the indigenous Indians of this land that's my color, copper color?
It's world history. It's the U.S. history.
Uh-huh.
So, and then the people of color were from the northeast part of the world here in New England area,
Yeah.
the Buffalo area. So
Awesome.
and that's pretty much.
Yeah, my family's Cherokee, and we some of us went on the Trail of Tears when they came in, and you know the war was over.
Yeah.
Some of
That
us
was
went to
1871.
Oklahoma. Yeah, some of us went to Oklahoma, and the rest of us that didn't want to go remained because we all fought in the war together with the British. Do you remember that?
Yes.
When did you learn that in school as a little boy?
Yeah, to a young man from high school.
Wow, amazing. Well, thank you for serving our country, sir. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Actually, when you have black Americans claiming that they are not Africans, they are right, they are correct, because many black Americans are actually not from the slave trade. They are not taken as slaves from Africa to America because they are the native indigenous Americans with black skin. Before Columbus, before the Europeans came to America, there were black skinned people living on the land. And history also shows with evidence that Africans were traveling and trading with Americans, the Native Americans, way before the Europeans came to America. So when you have a black American saying that they are not Africans, please understand. Actually, when you have black Americans claiming that they are not Africans, they are right, they are correct, because many black Americans are actually not from the slave trade. They are not taken as slaves from Africa to America because they are the native indigenous Americans with black skin. Before Columbus, before the Europeans came to America, there were black skinned people living on the land. And history also shows with evidence that Africans were traveling and trading with Americans, the Native Americans, way before the Europeans came to America. So when you have a black American saying that they are not Africans, please understand.
Hooked to Africa, then I don't know. I don't know what to say to you, but I wanted to just give an African side of it. So let's start. Like me, when I was I came here to the U.S. when I was 7 years old, right there. For me, I would say when we came, I used to hear stories about the transatlantic slave trade, I think it's called. And I used to ask my parents, actually, I used to ask them, why don't black Americans look like us?
Why don't black Americans look like us?
That's the first thing. So I do know I wasn't wrong. When I was a child, I wasn't wrong. And the second point would have to be one that Dane himself made, where are all the ships and all the boats? Yeah, it's not a ship, it's boats. There wasn't any ships back then.
Yeah, it's not a ship, it's boats. There wasn't any ships back then.
Where are all the boats that they used? And the third point is, if you look at Africans, or not all Africans, but West Africa, you won't find any stories that point to any huge slave trade.
You won't find any stories that point to any huge slave trade.
If it actually happened, there would have to be stories. If you go ask your great grandparents, if you're African, then they would tell you about white men arriving on the beaches and kidnapping people or forcing tribes to kidnap other tribes. But there's not really stories everywhere about that. So that's another thing that makes it not valid. And the fourth point would have to be, it is actually possible you guys are from the Americas.
It is actually possible you guys are from the Americas.
Black Americans are the gods of this earth, and all African nations are waiting on them for freedom and black liberation.
Do you guys know that you guys are the original gods of this planet? You guys are the geniuses that everybody in the world is looking up to for result, for answers. Do you guys know that because of your egocentric, narcissistic ways, that till this day, you'll still do it? You'll think that you're better than everybody. And that's what the white man used against us today. You guys are the gods. You guys are the ones that all African nation is waiting for African unity. But because you think that you're better than what I'm doing, I'm not from Africa. Oh, it's so dirty. Oh, why am I doing it? I'm not going to run behind a monkey. That's why you see black people are not united, because we are waiting for our gods. Not that white Jesus to show it to all. Our gods, the African Americans, are our gods to lead us to freedom. You guys are the original sons and daughters of the United States of America.
You guys are the original sons and daughters of the United States of America.
You guys are the original owner. You guys are the original inventors of this world. Everything in this world, the black American developed it before it even went down to Africa.
Everything in this world, the black American developed it before it even went down to Africa.
My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. One of the things I've received a lot of emails from, our African American brothers and sisters. Some saying, they're staying. They're not going anywhere. That is their land. And I think it's very important for us to open up the discussion that, not all African Americans came from Africa. That is one of the greatest fallacies that has happened. We were a global melanated planet.
The black people out here is not from Africa?
They're not from Africa.
They from, they from out here, right?
You guys are literally from out here. Africans don't even want to be playing with you guys. Like, that is the difference. Africans is totally separate.
Oh, where you from?
I'm from Liberia.
From Liberia. You trying to tell these people that I'm trying to tell them that they're not African?
They're not.
They are already, I don't know why they don't want to hear.
There was black people already here, bro.
Already here, but they want to say.
It wasn't even Native American, right? It was dark.
Right.
Here.
They want to say that I think they love slave boats, bro.
They migrated.
They love the slave boats, is what it is. But tell them again, black people?
Black people are not from Africa.
Say it louder.
Black people is not from Africa.
Black people is not from Africa.
Yeah, and anybody who said they're from Africa, that's some dumb shit. Africans don't even fuck with people from here, bro. Period. Africans can tell you fucking African.
With the islanders, is that it?
Who are the Caribs?
They're from South America, right? Or like the Guyanas?
Yeah. Well, who are they?
I'm not sure.
You have to do your history, friend.
Yeah.
Where do you think the black people here come from?
I don't. I'm not sure. It's either like slave ship or they came from Africa, right? What do you think?
We've never been Africa.
Never.
We've never been Africa.
They don't really say on.
We're not with the Africans. We are the Caribs.
No.
We are the Caribs. Our ancestors are the Caribs. We man this. We control this. We inhabited this.
No.
The sea was named for us, the Caribbean. We are the Caribs. The Africans came after. They came around the Cape Horn.
Moving around and looking crazy at each other, and now you have people calling us names, and that's the dude right there. Now the funny, do you see the artifacts close to him? Did you see that shit? That shit look legit. He have a jaguar behind the dude, and guess what? He make him very Asiatic. This is why a lot of people say, yo man, they look Asian now. This dude been doing this. I was not even born when this dude was creating these things. So you just only imagine the other people that just happen to jump into this knowledge of today, what they're gonna feel when they saw these fake statues that they want to use as reference to justify what they think it is. They have no idea. If you just stumbled upon this knowledge now, you are far behind, because we were not even born. This dude was already orchestrated fake artifacts. Do you understand? They ain't ready for this knowledge. I mean, my God, yeah, just like painting. Now let me show you another one. This is why I'm telling you. This is why Tartaria. This is why they have to destroy these places, because it was overwhelming. Inside of these buildings was overwhelming with truth. So it's hard because, our ancestors build these etheric buildings. All the buildings that you saw that survived, or every building that you saw and that's still like around in Tartarian architectures, best believe they find a way to remove what was in there, and whatever was in there was not that hard to remove. But a lot of other buildings, their construction is connected with artifacts that inside of them. That means if you remove the artifacts, the entire system will collapse, because the foundation of certain artifacts that's inside of these buildings, they all connected with each other. So that's what ended up happening. Now let me show you a building, what's inside of these buildings. And they're trying to paint this shit because they don't want you to know what was in there. Let me show it to you.